Rick, these are the most sensational and damaging royal revelations since Prince Harry's mother, the much missed by many, including me, Princess Diana, sat down with Martin Bashir in November 1995. Prince Harry is not just blowing the doors off, he's detonating a huge landmine under Buckingham Palace. And this is going to shake the very edifice of the royal family. And it will worry quite a lot of people in the British establishment. These are not trivial matters to which he's referring. I must say, I feel a bit for him. He's very unwise to make a confession about using cocaine, which of course is a serious criminal offence. And by revealing that on his tally during two commendable tours of duty in Afghanistan, he shot personally 25 people. One imagines that most of them were Taliban, but who knows? He has painted a target on his own back, which is not a wise thing to do. It is a sensational book. It is not just idle chatter. And it's appalling in many ways. I mean, this is fraternal fisticuffs in Nottingham Cottage, no knockout, but it seems like it was a points win for Prince William. It's appalling. I mean, this is not the first time that the introduction of a new person, whether a man or a woman, into a family has caused consternation and conflict. But Rick, this is all a little bit EastEnders. It's not really Kensington Palace, is it?
I suppose that kind of explains my kind of tone when I went to speak to you tonight. I mean, what is the biggest revelation for you today?
Well, I think what is most embarrassing for His Majesty the King is the revelation that the two boys, his sons, pleaded with him not to marry Mrs. Camilla Parker Bowles, which he did on a very fiercely cold April day in 2005, and I was there at Windsor Register Office. They pleaded with him. They said they would accept her as their father's mistress, but they did not want her. Now, that is highly damaging, and it casts a shadow over the coronation, which is only about 3 months away on May the 6th. I mean, there was residual feeling, I think there still is among many people, that Camilla will be ascending the throne, which should rightly have gone to Princess Diana. And those feelings may have been assuaged in recent years, but it's bound to reawaken them. And it certainly makes it highly controversial.
Do you think the context of what Prince Harry is talking about when it comes to Camilla is from back in 2005 and 2006? Because from what I understood, the relationship between Harry and Camilla over the last, well, certainly up till 2 years ago, had been one of great fun. They'd always got on very well.
Well, I think they were trying to be loyal to the memory of their mother, who said very poignantly, there were 3 people in this marriage. And listen, Prince William was passing notes to his mother when she was sitting in the lavatory crying her eyes out. Now, those sort of memories don't leave boys. They don't leave children. They stay with them. And of course, willy-nilly, they were involved in this terrible conflict that tore the family apart. And the princess herself was terribly upset about it. She went in as a 19-year-old. She was engaged. She was married at 20. She was going in to do her patriotic duty. She went in there with the best of all intentions. And we all know what happened. We don't need to rehearse it here. So this is it's heartbreaking in many ways, because I saw Prince Harry when he was a little boy, his mother taking him to his first day at Mrs. Minor's nursery school with his postman Pat sandwich box, and coming out at lunchtime, having made her a finger puppet, so pleased with himself. I saw him doing all of that. He served the country well. He did two tours of duty, and he behaved commendably. And I saluted him for that. All of this is so utterly dreadful. Um, it's very bad. One of the worst things you can ever see, Rick, is two brothers fighting. But when
Yes.
you see two royal brothers fighting, it is somehow so much worse. I think,
Well,
if
Michael,
they
just
want
to
to,
ask you on that point, though, is there a danger here that, however wrong, things that regularly happen between brothers, such as fights, are being blown up as completely unusual simply because it's
uh,
Harry and William?
of course, I don't think there's a pair of brothers alive that haven't had a fight about something.
Yes.
It's the normal thing, but it doesn't get put in a worldwide publication in 16 languages around the world. Look, if this was a pop star, or it was a film star, or even somebody quite famous complaining about their family life and their upbringing, what went on, well, people might be interested, but not that much interest. They're interested because this is a man who is sixth in line to the throne. He's a member of the royal family. He's the king's second son. And that is very important. And that's what gives it strength. It must be remembered that the man who's ghostwritten this, an American Pulitzer Prize winning author, obviously somebody who knows his way around. His last major volume was an autobiography, also ghosted, of Andre Agassi. And what do we remember from that book? It was that Agassi said he hated his father and he hated tennis and he resented having to be paid to play
Yeah.
tennis. So there is a certain sort of symmetry coming out here. But the other thing, and your listeners are some of the most astute people in this country, and I'm not flattering them, you've got to actually factor in the fact that this is all about money. Um, Harry has played an enormous advance of $31 million, one of the highest advances ever. Um, the publisher, Penguin Random House, could not serialize this in any major publication because that would have meant giving the book to the newspaper, and then all the secrets would start leaking out, as they have done today. So Random House, Penguin Random House, have got to make their money back. And those big interviews, which will be on ITV, an hour and a half on Sunday night and on CBS. I mean, if you or I were trying to buy that as advertising time, well, frankly, we couldn't afford it. It would
Mm.
be millions and millions and
Yeah,
millions.
it just
And
keeps coming.
this is all advertorial. This is all fantastic, grist to the mill, and we'll sell this book worldwide. Although I did see it being offered even a month before Christmas at half price in
Yeah.
Woodbridge and WH Smith. But the two, Meghan and Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, they have renounced the crown now for commerce. The crown is their calling card, their royal status is their calling card, but they are now bound up head and foot with Netflix. Netflix has invested $120 million, I think it is, in their Archwell production company and want more and more video productions from them. And what they want, when you're getting in the embrace of commerce, the commerce is going to give a big bear hug and they're going to squeeze every last drop of bile out of this couple. And what have they got to sell? They've got to sell
Yeah.
essentially a big moan about the royal family. When that's all over, there'll be less interest in their good works around the world.